Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Lions escape. That's 10 straight wins.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And on a Thanksgiving evening, we welcome you into Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Matt Derry with you as the Lions have won their 10th straight win, 11-1 start. Is the best start in franchise history as they knock off the Chicago Bears this afternoon on Thanksgiving, 23-20, ending the Lions' 7-game losing streak on Turkey Day. A lot to get into today. A lot of positives from this game, some negatives from this game. It was a wild game. The Lions led 23-7 with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. This game looked to be over. And yet it was the Bears that came back and had a chance at the end of the game to not only tie the game with a field goal, but win the game. And inexplicably, well, maybe not so inexplicably, because the Bears are just the Bears. This is what they do. This is what we rooted for all these years with the Lions, only to be heartbroken. In Chicago, that's how it is every week. The Bears have now lost 6 in a row. And how on earth, as I record this at 9 o'clock at night on Thanksgiving night, how on earth is Matt Eberflus still employed as the head coach of the Bears after that debauchery of the clock at the end of the game? My goodness gracious, the Lions got away with one today. Locked On Lions today brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. You can follow us on all social platforms, including Blue Sky. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Shout out to our everydayers that are out there that watch and listen to the podcast daily. Got a new everydayer out there we got to give props to. And that is my man, Don Price of Bodmer Price. Don is a great valuation analyst and is a big Lions fan. We appreciate Don checking us out. All right, Lions win today, 23-20. We'll hand out some game balls. We'll talk about some injuries. It does not look good for Malcolm Rodriguez right now. But this game had everything today. The Lions dominated this game in the first half. They led 16-0 at the half. Montgomery and Gibbs doing their thing. The only thing that was disappointing was the offense in the red zone, where the Lions, did not get it done and had to settle for multiple Jake Bates field goals. And you just had this feeling because they interview Eberflus coming off the field at halftime, and he tells Tracy Wolfson from CBS. And by the way, Tracy's great. I know she's a Michigan grad. She's just fantastic on the sideline. She does a really good job. And Eberflus says to Tracy Wolfson, we're right there. We're close. Some plays are going to pop in the second half. We've got the right play calls. We're just not executing. And we're all sitting there laughing like, what the hell is this guy talking about? The Bears have lost 5 in a row. They've been shut out in the first half. The Lions had 12 straight quarters where they had held opponents without a touchdown. What's this jabroni talking about? Meantime, second half, the Bears come out down 23-7 with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter and just score a couple of touchdowns and have the football at the end of this game with a chance to win. Credit to the Lions defense. They made a stop. They got a stop at the end of this game. But my goodness gracious, as the Bears are moving down the field after a Kindle Vildor season, penalty on 4th and 14, which was iffy. It was an iffy call, but he was holding DJ Moore and grabbing him down the field. The Bears get the ball back, have a chance, and then their last play was like a complete pass, and instead of spiking the ball with one timeout left or even using a timeout with 25 seconds to go, they take forever to snap the ball with 6 seconds left. Williams throws the ball deep. It's incomplete. And they use up the entire clock and the game ends. Absolute atrocity by the Bears. It's a Lions escape. It was some of the worst clock management I've ever seen. And after the game, Eberflus says that's the way we wanted to manage the clock. What the hell are you talking about? That's like some Matt Patricia stuff. Oh, yeah, that's what we wanted. But I love these quotes from the Bears players after the game today. Caleb Williams, quote, there wasn't any communication from the sideline, end quote. DJ Moore, wide receiver, quote, I don't know why we didn't call a timeout, end quote. Keenan Allen, who was lighting up the Lions today, wide receiver, quote, I feel like we did enough as players to win the game. And Eberflus, I think we handled it well. I am so happy to be a Lions fan. You are so happy to be a Lions fan. Imagine being a fan of that team off of Lakeshore Drive in Chicago that has now lost 6 in a row, that started the year 4-2 and is now 4-8. They have a head coach that has no idea what he's doing. None. How do you leave a timeout in your back pocket like that? And the Lions take advantage of it and win. Was some of it luck? Yes. Did the Lions play well in the second half? No. Were the Lions kind of messing around a little bit too much today and getting too cute offensively? Absolutely they were. I mean, this team is so creative. And then on 3rd and 1 late in the game, just a dive play to David Montgomery with 9 guys in the box. Like, what's going on? And yes, some of the mistakes the Lions made, they shot themselves in the foot. Jahmyr Gibbs going in for a touchdown at 16-0 in the first half. Fumbles the football at the 3-yard line, which would have put the Lions up 23-0. Lions moving the ball down the field up 23-13. Into Bears territory, in Jake Bates' field goal range, only to have Jameson Williams throw the football in Tyreek Stevenson's face, tosses it in his face as Stevenson's barking at him on the sidelines. 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. I know you're all waiting for it. I know you all can't wait to hear Matt Derry go off on JMO. What do you want me to say? What would you like me to say about another immature play from Jameson Williams? Now, to his credit, yes, I'm saying this, Dan Campbell after the game said that JMO addressed the team right after the game, unsolicited, and apologized for his actions. Still a boneheaded play and a silly play. Dumb play. Good to hear that JMO apologized. Good to hear that he owned it. We're moving on. But that play, Lion fans and JMO apologists, cost the Lions points because Jake Bates missed a chip shot field goal, pushing it wide right after CBS's Jim Nantz was gloating about how great he was. That would have made it a 3-score game. Would have made it 26-13. Instead, Bears came down, scored a touchdown, made it a 3-point game, and nearly tied it at the end, only to have a debauchery with the clock and their own mistakes. Bears made a lot of mistakes today. Lions made too many too. But here's the bottom line. Lions won. You know, the Lions won again, as G-Mac Cash would say. 11-1. I could sit here and nitpick all night. I'm not going to do that. They still won the football game. They will tell you if they have things to clean up. You know they're going to be better against the Packers next Thursday and not allow a 23-7 lead to almost be completely gagged away. But all these years they played the Bears on Thanksgiving, 3 out of the last 7 times they played on Thanksgiving where they've lost was to the Bears. So to get this win, get out of there with a W, especially with all of the injuries, which we will talk about in a second, with all the mistakes that were made in the second half, Detroit won the game. So we'll take it. 11-1. As at the time of the recording right now, the Packers were winning. Vikings are playing the Cardinals on Sunday. They're right on the Lions' tails. We know about Philadelphia. You just got to win. You just got to win. And that's what the Lions did today. There were a lot of positives, though, that we're going to get to, including a really big-time unsung hero on defense that I thought had a monster game today and is going to get a game ball definitely from me. But the Lions 23, Bears 20. Matt Derry with you, Locked On Lions on a Thursday night. Had a great Thanksgiving with my family here in Ohio, where I'm currently am. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving as well, and everybody is safe and healthy and eating well and enjoying family, and company, and celebrating a Lions victory, because we know how much you guys love this team and deserve to do that. Coming up next, play calling, a little bit shaky today in the second half. Injury update, game balls, all of that right here on a Thursday edition, Thanksgiving edition of Locked On Lions. And Locked On Lions this evening, brought to you by our friends at PrizePicks. We love PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports that is so much fun to play as you are playing the player stat projections. It's the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more than or less than on at least 2 player stat projections, 2 to 6 player stat projections, for a chance to win 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. They put their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get money in as quick as 15 minutes with PrizePicks. What about Justin Jefferson this weekend? Vikings Cardinals. Think he'll get more than 83.5 yards this week? Lamar Jackson going to pass for more than 1.5 touchdowns? You can bet on all of that at PrizePicks. Download the app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 instantly. PrizePicks, ladies and gentlemen, we love it, and you can run your game. And I got to tell you as well that Locked On Lions is proudly brought to you by our friends. Oh my goodness gracious. If I could just get the read to commit here, I'm going to do that in 1 second. Oh my gosh, this is what happens when you are away from your normal area, which I'm at on location here. And we're brought to you by our friends at Skylight Photos. It is very, very simple. All right. You want to celebrate like on Thanksgiving and stay connected with people who are far away. Maybe you're doing a Thanksgiving or a Friendsgiving tomorrow or Saturday. You miss someone this holiday season. You want them to be a part of the festivities from afar. Do your loved ones far away a favor that they live, and maybe you wish they could be close to you. Here's what you got to do. It is very, very simple. Give them the gift of photos with our friends at Skylight Frame. Skylight Frame is the touchscreen digital photo frame your whole family will love. You upload thousands of photos with your phone and watch them appear in seconds. So easy to use. Setup takes less than 60 seconds. Invite friends and family to easily share photos via the free Skylight mobile app or email. No account or subscription is required. Touchscreen, it's a game changer. Swipe through photos, tap to see new ones sent, tap the heart button to say thank you to the sender. It's awesome. And now, as a special limited time offer for our listeners, get $20 off your first purchase of a Skylight Frame when you go to skylightframe.com/NFL. That's SKYLIGHTFRAME.com/NFL. Get $20 off your first purchase now at skylightframe.com/NFL. Get $20 off at Skylight Frame at skylightframe.com/LockedOnNFL. What do the Lions do? And by the way, welcome back to the program. Lions 23, Bears 20. What do the Lions do very well? Who is on this Lions team that you sit up here and say, these are the guys that make it happen? All right. To me, it starts with the running game. David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. And today, Jahmyr Gibbs carried the football 8 times in the first half. 8. In the second half, he carried it once. Ben Johnson is the best offensive coordinator in the NFL. Ben Johnson is a god. He is an awesome offensive coordinator. I, for one, in the first half, loved the reverse pass attempt with Penei Sewell. It was a 1-yard loss that got a standing ovation from the crowd. I have no issue with it. It's creative. That I don't think is too cute. But what happened in the second half, where the Lions became way too pass heavy, and went away from Jahmyr Gibbs. Yes, David Montgomery had 21 carries today for 88 yards. with a long of 13. But Jahmyr Gibbs not touching the ball in the second half made absolutely no sense. You got to run the football with number 26. Did the Bears make some adjustments? Did they load the box a little bit more? They did. But to me, the Lions got too cute in the second half with play calling. And I think they thought up 23-7, we're golden. We're good. The second touchdown pass to LaPorta that put the Lions up 16 in the third quarter was as good a play call as you'll find in terms of play design. You have backup tackle Jamarco Jones, who I didn't even know until today, lining up in an eligible receiver position as a wing on the right side. You got everybody rolling right, and Goff throws behind his body a little bit to the left to LaPorta for the touchdown. It was beautiful. But I just thought they got too cute in the fourth quarter. They went away from the creativity, went away from what they do best, and they went away from Jahmyr Gibbs. There is no reason why this game should have been this close today. Now, credit to Caleb Williams and the Bears offense. Williams ended up throwing for 256 and 3 scores. He was running for his life all day. Lions pass rush was pretty good today, 5 sacks, but we know how bad that Bears offensive line is. And Williams finished with a 97.8 rating. When he threw touchdown passes, he had time to throw. He did. And DJ Moore had a big game. Keenan Allen had a couple of touchdowns. DeAndre Swift got loose a few times. Bears looked better today than their record. But I thought the Lions played into a little bit of that due to getting too cute in the second half. Also today, which I thought was a factor in this game, were the injuries that took place both before the game and during the game. Number one, Emmanuel Mosley tweaked something before the game, the Lions cornerback, who I thought was going to play a ton today. And the Lions had to deactivate him at 11 o'clock before the 12:30 start, meaning Kendall Vildor got the start at one of the outside cornerback spots because now Mosley's out and Carlton Davis was out. And then Khalil Dorsey had to play a little bit today. Vildor played a lot, and those guys struggled. So not having Mosley really, really hurt. The Lions have got to get Carlton Davis healthy. I thought Terrion Arnold played a pretty good game for the most part today, although he had an interception that he kind of dropped. But that's a big injury question. Then Levi Onwuzurike left the game with a knee injury today. Zadarius Smith was in and out of the lineup with injuries. It was people were dropping like flies today for the Lions as far as injuries, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And then Malcolm Rodriguez leaves the game with a knee problem. And Dan Campbell said after the game that he's concerned that this could be something long-term with Rodrigo. He's played really well for this team this year. So to lose Rodriguez for an extended period of time, especially next week when Jordan Love and the Packers are coming to town for the Thursday night game, is something to watch. David Long played a ton today as a backup linebacker. Ben Neiman was out there today. Who was the other kid that played today? Ezekiel Turner, number 40. I love when number 47's out there, and I have no idea who that is. He was out there today. The Lions are extremely banged up. A lot of injuries. And so hopefully everybody's all right. Dan Skipper went out of the game for a little bit, came back in. They got to get Taylor Decker healthy. But the amount of injuries that are piling up on this team right now, Mekhi Wingo went out. Like, it was crazy. Crazy. I guess you could say the hope would be that the Lions would get a little bit of extra time and not playing until next Sunday, but it's not next Sunday. It's next Thursday. And it's the Packers. But they've got to get guys healthy, and they've got to get their linebacking core healthy because, right now Jalen Reeves-Maybin's on IR. You've lost Derek Barnes. You've lost Alex Anzalone. Now you're going to lose Rodrigo. My gosh. Thank goodness Jack Campbell is healthy because he's been fantastic. But the Lions have seemed to weather this storm with the injuries pretty well, and they've survived and they've won games. But they need to get healthy. It was a mash unit all day. Khalif Raymond now went on injured reserve. That's another one that got hurt today. So Lions weathered it. Lions won, but it's definitely a concern. All of the injuries that took place today during this Thanksgiving Thursday. Short week. Lions were prepared. Lions came out humming offensively, played well defensively, led 16-0 at halftime. But, man, as the game wore on, it just got a little bit scary. Lions dodged a bullet today. They did. But not every game's going to be a blowout. Not every game's going to be simple. These are division games. The Bears somehow, some way, always seem to play the Lions tough. So we'll see about all of that next week. All right, let's hand out some game balls. We got to do that. Crowd was great again today. There were some guys that stepped up, including sort of an unnamed defensive player that I thought was really, really good today. Really good. And kind of saved the Lions bacon on defense and on the defensive line. We'll do that coming up next. And we love our friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because right now, NFL fans, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place your live bets on the NFL all in one place. Tomorrow, Black Friday, Chiefs Raiders, 3 o'clock. Put some money down on that game at FanDuel. When you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch, and make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports book partner of the NFL. Lions win on Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a great holiday. They win 23-20. How about Shabuzi at halftime today? He was on the field more at halftime and longer than Caleb Williams and the Bears offense was in the first half. Lions dominated that first half in terms of time of possession. The defense was phenomenal again in the first half. Second half, Williams, you could see the kind of talent that he has and what he can do. But the Lions held him off and got the win to improve to 11-1, best record in the NFL. They have now won a franchise record 10th straight game. And next week, get the Packers to come into Ford Field for a Thursday night affair at 8:20 next week. So 23-20, the Lions win. Bears drop to 0-5 on the road as the Lions are now 5-1 at home. All right, my first game ball today. We're going to hand out some game balls. And the first one I'm giving out is not to somebody that had great numbers today. If you look at the stats, let me give you some stats, partner. Al-Qadin Muhammad gets a game ball. He was flying around today. He was disruptive. Number 69 played a really good football game. Al-Qadin Muhammad had a sack, a solo tackle, a tackle for a loss, a pass defended. Remember, he was in coverage on Cole Kmet and broke up a pass. He played really well today. And look, the Lions, we've talked about this, are going to need everybody and anybody along that defensive line. I mean, James Houston now has been released. Browns picked him up off waivers. I told you he was not coming back. They need help getting to the quarterback. And I thought Al-Qadin Muhammad today played a really, really good game. Zadarius Smith also gets a game ball from me. 1.5 sacks, 3 tackles, a solo, flying around the field today. Number 99, both inside and outside, had a heck of a football game. I love what I saw today from Zadarius Smith. The punt god, Jack Fox, today. More punts than he usually has with 2, but man, flipping the field. And how about that 61-yard punt that he had that pinned the Bears back deep late in the game? Dorsey downed it at the 1-yard line. Jack Fox continues to be the punt god. He was fantastic today. I'm also going to give a game ball to David Montgomery, playing against his former team. Maybe it wasn't the greatest game for him, but 21 carries, 88 yards, 4.2 a carry, also caught 3 balls for 36 yards. Where would this team and this offense be without Montgomery? He is just a rock out there. Really, really good football player. Love the way that he played today. No game ball for Jared Goff, but Goff was solid at a passer rating of 100. 21 out of 34, 221, 2 touchdowns, both to Sam LaPorta. I'll give LaPorta a game ball too. He caught 3 balls for 6 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns. Welcome back in the red zone, near the goal line, number 87, Sam LaPorta. Please keep finding him. I know it has not been the greatest of years for Sam LaPorta. I know fantasy draft or fantasy football owners of Sam LaPorta are like, what the heck's wrong with him? But today he caught 2 touchdown passes. It was great to see. And hopefully we get him untracked here. But it was a wild game today. Officiating at the end, I thought, was out of control. There were some penalties against the Bears that probably weren't penalties. There were some penalties against the Lions. I thought the Vildor hold was interesting. Officiating really the last 5 minutes was just, they were throwing flags on everything. But all in all, Lions survived and won. Now next Thursday, big game against the Packers at Ford Field. Green Bay is really good. Very good team. And the Lions have got to get healthy at corner. We got to see Emmanuel Mosley. Hopefully Carlton Davis's knee injury is nothing serious, and he'll be back next week because the Lions need them. Lions need their corners healthy as they continue to play better team. I mean, today we got to see what Caleb Williams, some of the potential that he has. Again, the Bears are just holding him back because that's what the Bears do. But you could see the potential today with Williams and his weapons and everything else. So, all right, everybody. Hope you had a great Turkey Day. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll get you the PFF grades tomorrow on Locked On Lions. I'm either going to do a show tomorrow or Saturday. We'll have a show for you to kind of recap this one even more. But the Lions win 23-20 over the Chicago Bears. First of 3 straight at home. Green Bay next week. Buffalo the week after. Hope everybody has a good rest of the holiday. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, from everybody here on Locked On Lions. Hey, we cracked the top 200 on Apple again this week. On Apple Podcasts, 4 shows from the Locked On Network were top 200 in the sports category. Locked On Auburn, Locked On Bills, Locked On Fantasy Basketball, and we were up there too, Locked On Lions. So thank you all for listening and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts.